Okay, buyers, here's the situation. You're in a bidding war. Should you use an escalation clause? Let's start with what is an escalation clause. An escalation clause is a paragraph that is prepared by an attorney that is inserted into the contract that's going to state that the buyer, you, are willing to pay above the highest price a certain amount of money. So let's say the highest offer is $500,000 and you say in your escalation clause that you're willing to pay $6,000 above that highest offer. And that's what it does. So it really works well in a multiple offer situation, sometimes. There are three key components to an escalation clause. The first one is the amount of money that you're willing to go above the highest offer. $6,000, $10,000, whatever that number is, that needs to be stated in the escalation clause. Number two, you need to have a cap of how much you're willing to pay for the property, and it needs to be obviously what you can afford. So if the property is listed at $515,000, but your escalation clause ends at $580,000, that's great. If you don't put an end on that, it could end up at $650,000, $700,000. And in the crazy markets we're in, you never know how high it's gonna go. And number three, you need to ask for written proof of the bona fide offer, meaning the actual offer that triggers this escalation clause to come into effect. And that needs to be delivered to the buyer before they go under contract. So some pros to using an escalation clause in your purchase contract are that one, it shows the seller that you're invested in purchasing this property. Number two, it could help your offer stand out against the rest. And number three, using an escalation clause will continually bump your offer up, but only if there's other offers to trigger it. So in a lot of cases, buyers are able to save money instead of going all in on the highest offer. There are some cons to using escalation clauses, and those include, one, you're basically showing the seller your cards, so it reduces your ability to negotiate and your bargaining power. Number two, a seller could potentially fabricate an offer that would trigger that escalation clause to go to the maximum price. Number three, in a multiple offer situation, you may not be the only buyer that's using the escalation clause. So in that case, the seller's just gonna have to come back to everybody and ask for their highest and best. So it may be a moot point anyway. Right now in today's market that is super competitive, my advice to buyers is to not use the escalation clause and just offer that highest amount. You're more likely to get the property with a lot less drama and a lot less confusion to the seller. So at the end of the day, this is why hiring an agent to be on your side is so important, because every situation is different and the agent will be able to know whether or not you should use that escalation clause. So have you ever used an escalation clause and did it work? Let me know in the comments below.